The future, unreal and imagined, takes on many colors with its traveling theories. The past, now in color, authenticated by Stephen Bull. Can one take what is learned from the past and apply it to the future? Gather here for such impossibilities. Greetings, chromatic warriors. Today I'd like to create a little historical fiction. These two unrelated subjects have found themselves next to each other in the miniature world. On one side, I have the World War II American paint set. On the other, the Imperial Service Action Pack. My goal today is to work within the limits of one box of historical colors and create a futuristic paint job, taking the lead from the established Yu Ching color scheme and seeing if I can create a satisfying equivalent. As always, working within certain boundaries yields new information. Let's go! Authenticated by Stephen Bull. Bottom to top, let's start with the base. Slathering on the dark drab and wet blending black into the rear third, I'll be lifting and dropping my brush to create some texture on the base decking. It could be smooth, but I like the more decrepit look. Next, to hammer out some base coats. Paint the loins and decorative flaps with a mixture of matte black and dark olive. This will add some nice contrasting darkness to the brighter armor ahead. With that same motto in mind, coat the undersuit with a mix of black and medium drab to make a greenish gray. Medium drab is already a desaturated green, so I see this as a mix of black, green, and white at the rudimentary level. You have a portion of gray with some green injected into it. Continuing to break up the undersuit, coat the pipings with steel. Normally the studio artists at Corvus Belli use non-metallic metal, but I'd like to see some true metallic on mine, even though I'm a fan of the studio work. We're here to do different. To get the bright yellow armor going, I'll coat those plates with a 50-50 mix of flag red and life vest yellow. This is fun. I know mixing red and yellow will make orange, but this set of colors has its subtleties, authenticated after all, and may vary from what I imagine when I think of a plain orange. For that dash of green detailing, the eyes, the sword, and power discs, Life Vest Yellow and Ensign Blue were combined to make a nice green that would fall into the range of lime tones. Now, back to the base. The tactical rock cannot be ignored. I'll get that broken up with flag red and a dash of dark drab mixed in with it. This gives me a murky, less bold red. Very nice for a slight shift on the base, but not to grab too much attention. Another fun combination I wouldn't normally find myself using. Ah yes, now that the base coats are together, let's start with some highlights. Highlight the cloth with dark olive. Going very broad with these highlights. It's not much of a difference in tone compared to that matte black and dark olive mix, but I want the leather to have a flatter appearance. Back to those greenish plates of Under Armour. I'll raise those up with more medium drab, this time in its pure form. Everything is getting a lift. And hey, don't we all want a lift? Check the links below for a deeper level of lifting. While your hand is on the mouse, why not hit the like and subscribe? Well, okay, fine, that's a pretty good reason, but for the rest of you who have the ability, hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks. Alright, as I was saying, with base coats established and now some highlights running, let's go back to the bottom and start finishing. Working up the base first, I'll apply more black and dark drab. But this time, as I want to brighten, I'll be adding canvas into the mix, which gives the base a nice desaturated highlight suitable for the tread-upon decking. A small amount of flag red will be used to highlight that tactical rock. Nothing too prominent or bright. Pulling it back to a desaturated end and lifting the brightness, I'll mix in canvas to the flagpole. The yellow armor is the main course. You can see me holding back on it and tidying up the surrounding areas, but now I can dive in. Starting from a base coat of flag red mixed with life vest yellow, I'll add a bit more life vest yellow to the mixture to highlight. I plan on capping it off with pure life vest yellow. I want this to look like a semi-reflective surface, so I'll be building some specular highlights into my blending. Follow along and you'll see. I'm eager for that yellow, but I must place it aside for a moment. Let's put a wash on the surrounding areas. This way I can cover any mistakes with my yellow highlight. I'll take a mixture that is 1 part each of water, matte black, and military shade, using that to deepen and define every area aside from the bright armor plates. Very nice. Now that yellow will jump off the table and tear up your opponent's rulebook. Back to that pure life vest yellow. At this stage you can see more clearly what I mean when I'm talking about a reflective armor plating. Notice the portions of the colors being used and how smaller targeted highlights indicate a reflective finish. Of course, there's a strong midtone and shadow below. Jumping too quickly to these sharper highlights can make a model look too dark on all of its facings. Of the sword and eyes. Wet blend that original Ensign blue and life vest yellow together with greater amounts of life vest yellow. I'll be going brighter into that lime green range and then including white paint in that brightest mixture. After the wet blend settled, a quick highlight. I want to play on the irregular potential of a power weapon, for speed, but also for a fun contrast to the smooth armor, just like the base having a little tooth to it. Back to the under armor and the cloth. I'll first highlight the armor pieces with light drab and the cloth with dark olive mixed with canvas to lighten to a nice dusty brown tone. Get it out of the way quick, Sam. You're almost done. The cloth will be finished off with canvas. It will sit in a deeper register of colors along with the base. You don't need to use maximum white on every surface, but sometimes other surfaces look really good with maxed out white in comparison to drab canvas. So here we go. Finally, a tour of white dots and stripes. I'll also give the metal bits another touch of steel. But anyways, you could go slower and mix more intermediate shifts in color, but here I wanted to go a little fast and aim for nice opposed to perfect. Painting should be fun. Remember why you keep coming back to it. For personal satisfaction. Your motivations can vary, but follow what gives you the most joy in miniature painting. In conclusion, it's very fun to work within a limited set of colors and see what you can find. I wound up with these 2 items after Adepticon and saw this connection and a challenge. Sure, it's just another painted model, but I also had some moments on it. Rendering a shining armor is always satisfying, and having to mix and match my way through the process got me thinking. Most notably, the mixing of red and drab green together. I'll remember that one. And I hope you remember this. I believe in you. So let me know how you feel in the comments section down below. I'm always happy to hear from you. Till we meet again, my friends, remain unchained. Authenticated by Stephen Bull.